One tick bite. That's all it takes to put someone in your family in the hospital. Lyme disease, a meat allergy that never goes away. These are real, and they're getting worse every year. So you spray your yard. You do everything right. And 2 weeks later, the ticks are back because you're fighting them in the wrong place. Here's the truth almost nobody tells you. Ticks don't start in your grass. They start on the mice living along the edge of your yard. That's the source. Hit them there, and you stop ticks before they ever reach your grandkids or your dog. Today I'll show you a simple trap you can build for about $4 from things you already have at home. It's safe around dogs and children when you do it right, and it kills ticks at the source all season long. Then I'll show you 3 more easy ways to back it up. Most of them are free. Let's get started. So let's talk about that source. To beat ticks, you have to know how they live. And once you understand this, everything changes. A tick doesn't hatch big enough to bite you. When it's young, it's tiny, smaller than a poppy seed. And before it can grow, it needs a blood meal. So where does that first meal come from? Not from you, not from a deer. It comes from the little mice running along the edge of your yard. These are white-footed mice. They live in your woodpile, your stone walls, the leaves under your deck. And here's the important part. A young tick climbs onto a mouse, drinks its blood, and picks up disease right there. That mouse is the real carrier of Lyme disease, even more than the deer everyone worries about. The deer bring ticks in, but the mice are where the ticks get fed and where they get dangerous. So, think about it. If the mice are the gas station for ticks, what happens if we shut the gas station down? The ticks can't grow, they can't spread. We stop the whole thing right at the start, and that's exactly what this little trap does. Here's how it works, and it's clever. You take a cardboard tube and stuff it with cotton. That cotton has a tiny bit of tick-killing treatment on it. You set the tubes around your yard. The mice find them, and they do what mice always do. They grab the soft cotton to line their nests. They carry it home. Now that treatment is right there in the nest, touching the mouse, and it kills the ticks on that mouse. It doesn't hurt the mouse. It doesn't hurt your bees or butterflies. It only goes after the ticks, right where they're born. Now, compare that to spraying. When you spray your lawn, you only hit the ticks sitting out on the grass. You miss the whole nursery hiding in the nests. And spray kills your good bugs too, the bees, the butterflies. This trap doesn't. It's aimed right at the target. And the best part? A box of store-bought tubes runs $40 to $50. You can make about 20 of your own for $3 or $4. Same idea, same result. A fraction of the price. Let me show you how. The good news is, you don't need anything fancy. Most of this you already have around the house. Let me walk you through it, piece by piece. First, the tube. The easiest one is a simple cardboard toilet paper roll. You've got them right now, and they're free. A paper towel roll works too. Just cut it into 3 shorter pieces. Now, if you want something that lasts, use a piece of PVC pipe, about 1.5 inches across. The cardboard breaks down after a season in the rain. The PVC pipe you can use for years. Either one does the job, so don't overthink it. Next, the stuffing. You want soft cotton balls, the kind from any drugstore. Or here's a free trick. Use the lint from your clothes dryer. That fuzzy stuff you peel off the screen and throw away. Mice love it for their nests. Don't waste it. Then, the treatment. This is a common bug killer called permethrin. You can find it at any hardware store, a farm store like Tractor Supply, or online. We'll talk about how to handle it safely in just a minute. That part matters, so stay with me. And last, a few things to keep you safe while you work. A pair of rubber gloves, a dust mask, and some eye protection, plus a throwaway tray or bucket to soak the cotton in, and a pair of tongs so your hands stay clean. That's the whole list. Nothing hard to find, nothing expensive. You can gather all of it in one trip, or maybe just by looking around your house. Now, before we build anything, let's go over how to do this safely for you and for your pets. Now, I want to be straight with you about the permethrin. It's a bug killer, and that means you treat it with respect. But it's not scary when you follow a few simple rules. Let me give them to you plain. Rule 1. Always read the label on the bottle you buy, and follow what it says. That's the right way, and it's the safe way. Rule 2. Once it's fully dry, permethrin is safe around people and safe around dogs. The key word is dry. When you're soaking the cotton, and later when you're handling it, wear your gloves and your mask, and work outside where there's fresh air. Rule 3. And this is the big one. Permethrin is very dangerous to cats while it's still wet. So keep your cats away from your work area until the cotton is completely dry. Once it dries, the treatment binds into the cotton fibers, and it's safe. But wet, it can make a cat very sick. If your cat ever starts drooling heavily, shaking, walking like it's dizzy, or having trouble breathing, call your vet right away. That's it. 3 rules. Follow them, and this is a safe method that families have used for decades. Alright, now let's build these tubes. Okay, let's make them. I'll take you through it one step at a time, nice and slow. There are only 4 steps, and none of them are hard. Step 1. Get ready. Put on your gloves, your mask, and your eye protection. Then head outside, somewhere with fresh air but out of the wind. You don't want a breeze blowing the spray or the dust around. A driveway, a patio, or a spot in the yard all work fine. Lay down your tray or your bucket so you have a clean place to work. Step 2. Treat the cotton. Spread your cotton balls out on the tray in a single layer. Now take your permethrin, mixed exactly the way the bottle tells you to. You've got 2 easy ways to do this. You can spray it right onto the cotton, turning the pieces over so both sides get wet. Or you can use your tongs to dip the cotton straight into the solution. Either way, you want the cotton good and damp all the way through, not just the surface. Take your time and get them all. Step 3. Let it dry. This is the step people rush, and you shouldn't. Set the wet cotton somewhere airy to dry completely. That takes a full day to 2 days. Keep it out of direct sun, because strong sunlight weakens the treatment. And remember Rule 3 from a minute ago. While that cotton is wet, keep your cats far away from it. Once it's bone dry, the treatment is locked into the fibers and it's safe. But not before, so be patient here. Dry means dry. Step 4. Stuff the tubes. Now that everything's dry, put your gloves and mask back on, even dry. You don't want to breathe in any loose fibers. Pull the cotton apart a little so it's nice and fluffy. Mice love soft, fluffy material for their nests, so this helps. Then loosely push 3 to 5 pieces into the middle of each tube. Fill it about 2/3 of the way and leave both ends open so the mouse can crawl in and pull the cotton out. And here's a little trick. If you're using the PVC pipe, drop a few sunflower seeds inside. That smell brings the mice right in. That's it. Your tubes are done. Now let me show you exactly where to put them, because placement is what makes this whole thing work. Here's where a lot of folks go wrong. They set the tubes out in the open, in the middle of the lawn. The mice never find them, and nothing happens. The trick is to put the tubes where the mice actually live and travel. So think like a mouse for a second. Mice don't like the open. They stick to cover. So tuck your tubes in the spots they call home, along the bottom of a fence, under the deck or the shed, next to the woodpile, in the brush, the stone walls, and the piles of dead leaves. And especially that line where your lawn meets the woods that's Mouse Highway. Space them out, about 10 to 15 feet apart, all the way around the edge of your yard. You don't need them in the middle. You're building a ring around the property, right where the mice come and go. Now, timing. Put your tubes out twice a year. The first round in early spring, around March or April. The second round in late summer or early fall, somewhere from July to September. That's when the mice are building nests, and the young ticks are looking for their first meal. You're hitting them right when it counts. And check on them after a few weeks. If the cotton's gone, that's perfect. A mouse took it home, and the trap is working. If a tube is still full, the mice aren't passing by there. Just move it to a better spot. One honest word. This is not a magic bullet that clears your yard overnight. It works by breaking the tick's life cycle, and that takes time, often a full season or 2, before you really see the tick numbers drop. So, be patient. It's working, even when you can't see it yet. Now, the tubes attack ticks at the source. But the smartest thing you can do is stack a few easy layers on top. Think of it like locking more than one door. Here are 3 more, and most of them cost you nothing. Layer 1. Clean up the yard. This is free, and it's powerful. Ticks need shade and damp to survive. Sunlight dries them out and kills them. So take away their hiding spots. Rake up the dead leaves under your deck and along the fence. Keep your grass cut short so the sun reaches the ground. Move that wood pile away from the house, because it's a hotel for the mice we just talked about. And here's one for the grandkids. Put the swing set and the sandbox in the sunniest, driest corner you have, far from the tree line. That one choice keeps a lot of bites off the little ones. Layer 2. Lay a cedar barrier. This one you do once, and it lasts for years. Cedar wood has a natural oil in it that's deadly to ticks. It's the same reason cedar chests keep moths out of your clothes. So, along that edge, where your lawn meets the woods, lay down a band of cedar wood chips, about 3 feet wide. Any tick trying to crawl across it dies before it reaches your grass. Here's a money saver. Call a local tree service. They often pay to dump wood chips. So many will drop a load in your driveway for free. Now, one honest note: deer and birds can still carry ticks right over this barrier. That's exactly why we use more than one layer. Layer 3. Protect yourself. This is for the times you head into the tall grass anyway. 2 little tricks. First, the duct tape trick. Ticks crawl up from your shoes looking for skin, so before you go out, wrap a strip of duct tape around the top of each sock, sticky side out. The ticks climb up, hit the sticky tape, and they're stuck. When you come back in, peel it off and throw it away, ticks and all. Second, the dryer trick. And this one's my favorite. When you come inside, don't just toss your clothes in the wash. Put them in the dryer first, on high heat, for 10 minutes. Ticks can survive a wash, but they can't survive that dry heat. It kills them fast. And if one does bite you, here's how to take it off the right way. Grab fine-tipped tweezers. Get them as close to the skin as you can, and pull straight up. Don't twist, don't squeeze. Then wash the spot with soap and water. If you get a rash or a fever in the days after, see your doctor and tell them about the bite. So let's put it all together into a simple plan you can actually follow. Tick control isn't one big job, it's a rhythm across the year. And it really comes down to 2 times. In early spring, around March or April, do your setup. Rake out the leaves that piled up over winter. Set out your first round of tubes. And if you're laying a cedar barrier, this is the time. You're getting ahead of the ticks before they wake up. Then, in late summer, July into September, do it again. Put out your second round of tubes to catch the new batch. Keep the grass short, and get in the habit of a quick tick check every time you come inside. 30 seconds, ankle to waist. That's all it takes. And that's the whole system. Let me say it once more. Simple. The tubes stop ticks at the source, on the mice. Cleaning up your yard takes away their hiding spots. The cedar barrier guards the edge, and the duct tape and the dryer protect you. No single layer is perfect on its own, but stack them all together, and ticks have to beat every one of them to reach you, and they won't. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Give it a full season. Stick with it, and you'll genuinely stop worrying about ticks the way you used to. If this gave you a real plan instead of just another scary video, do me a favor, hit subscribe. I've got more simple, safe yard tips coming your way. And leave me a comment down below. Which layer are you going to start with? I read every one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.